All right, so we're about wheels up. Brad, Rick Cardona, Army vet. We are about to take off, and we are going straight to Ponce, supposedly, as soon as we get there. So wish us luck, and Godspeed.
Bro hug.
Yeah, we're here. We made it. All right, where are we headed to?
How are you? Far side of that garage, of course, all the way over. Can I carry something for you?
Right on.
No, I'm good.
All right, right now we are headed to Ponce, which is on the southern portion of the island. It is one of the second, or is the second largest town in Puerto Rico. They haven't been getting supplies despite being a southern port. We're here with Michael Brewer, Brad, Rick in the back, and it should be about a 2-hour drive. Roads seem to have improved quite a bit. They've cleared off a lot, but it definitely looks like a nuclear bomb went off as far as the forest is concerned. I mean, just everything is down, but luckily they have cleared a lot of stuff out, so we'll keep you tuned in. Okay, so we made it to Ponce, and we're assessing the situation. Town seems to be pretty good. I mean, this is the second biggest city in Puerto Rico, and gas seems to be operational. There aren't any super long lines like there are in San Juan. So we are going to try to hook up and find some medical facilities, see if we can't find some IV supplies. Probably won't come back to Ponce. We're going to try to find the areas that are hit the hardest, so Ponce seems to be pretty good.
I just left Ponce not too long ago and made some arrangements with the local medical supply people down there to get us insulin and some of the more needed medical supplies. Highway 10 North is blocked by a lot of what you're seeing around us now. While Ponce was being put back together pretty quickly by the people there, this is some of the stuff that I want you guys to see and understand as we do this work. When you hear that things are okay, they might be okay in San Juan, Metro Central, in Ponce, but the kinds of things that you see out here in the mountain areas, they're definitely a far cry from being okay. We've passed through a couple of little municipalities where people don't seem to be too hard up for medical attention, but they've got no power. I mean, you can see in front of us right now, the power lines are down across the road. These are houses. This is where people live. And this is where nobody can understand. Nobody can hear from these people. There's no communication out. The only way you see this or can deal with this is if you come up here. And it's not very easy to get to. So this is the kind of stuff that I want you guys to keep in mind, as we do our work and as you see our updates. All right, filters up front.
Cuatro.
Are any of the other families in need? Does anybody?
No.
Ya vemos 19 personas.
19. Son vecinos.
Familiares,
19 people here.
In just this area?
No, here.
Oh, here. 19 in here?
Son 19 aquí en esta casa.
¿Tienes agua? You have water?
Tiene agua y comida y
Hay algo.
poquito. Very little.
I'm going to show them how to do a rain
Ve
testing.
aquella casa que está allí,
They
le
said we
llegó
got
el
little water.
techo, él
There's
lo
19
perdió
people
todo.
living in here.
Esa casa de ahí.
La próxima. Vente para acá, que no se mueve.
You'll have to translate. Okay. For pure water. This will be enough drinking water for everybody.
Esto va a purificar, limpiar la agua para todo el mundo.
Eso se le echa al balde.
Sí,
Water in here, pump.
que echa el agua ahí, coger la agua vamos a decir, de aquí. Le echa aquí adentro, con esta pompa.
So down, on, up, off. Everything you need is here. This makes a hole in the side.
Con él. Sí.
For the filtration. And it's all written here, so they can set it up very easily. I won't punch a hole in it until they want to. Okay. But these people, Waves for Water, have a lot of these. So if there's
Okay, so we've headed deeper into the mountains and we are making contact with different families here, finding out what their needs, the resources that they're depleted of, and water seems to be a big issue. Despite having water everywhere here, many people just don't have survival skills, and we've teamed up with another company that is providing Sawyer water filters, and our mission is basically to take and find out where people need water, medical supplies, and then actually go into the deeper areas and drop them off.
You want to go out with me and talk to these guys?
Okay, he's basically doing what those other families are doing, collecting water from the mountainside so they can have water in the house, just like we saw these other folks doing up the road. What we're going to do now is leave him with some buckets and a pump, I think, hopefully. First aid kit. Vamos a volver el domingo.
El domingo.
El domingo vamos a estar por ahí haciendo más de estos tubos. Sí. Estos tubos.
Waves for Water will be back up here this weekend with as many of these as you guys need. They're water filters, so when you collect the water, you can even take dirty water. You can take any water.
Mira, hasta esa agua ahí adentro se puede llenar de este cubo y con esto purificar, limpiarlo un poquito mejor.
Okay. Just make a hole for the hose, for the plug inside, and it connects. Draw it through the.
Esto aquí.
Okay, so today is kind of a follow-up on yesterday. As we talked about before, we did a little bit of recon in the hills and met some of the families that you saw. Those roads are still very inaccessible. So what you're seeing is that the big towns are sort of coming around. The supply centers are getting to be in place, and but the mountain communities and the more rural areas are not being serviced. So we are going to load about 1,000 pounds of food aid, the medical teams, and a bunch of water filters. We've got about 80 buckets coming our way with those water filters that you saw yesterday. And we're going to take those up and distribute them family to family so that we can have pockets of distribution along the way in the inaccessible areas. What I really kind of expect to see is that within the next week they'll clear those power lines and they'll make the roads a lot more available for bigger trucks. And once the heavy aid can get to those places that only the volunteers are going right now, things will look a lot better. But right now this is very much volunteer driven. The independent operators, the guys who don't fall under government control, the individual volunteers like us are the only ones getting to those areas right now. So this kind of aid is super, super critical for them, and probably will be for the next several days at least. So keep your support coming, and we'll keep you posted.
Okay, so we made it back to the area that we were at yesterday where the road washout was, and we've only been driving in the rain for about 20 to 30 minutes. And it is absolutely unbelievable, the torrential rain that happens in a short amount of time. And this is actually a high mountain area, and as you can see, it's kind of blocked by these dump trucks here, but it is completely underwater and impassable, and there are people on the other side of the road that are, I guess, stuck. And this is the point where the mountain roads start to get bad. And this is the kind of issue that we run into in the middle of Puerto Rico and the mountain passes, is that every time it rains, we end up having some kind of giant washout, and then the military has to come in, try to fix it once the rain, cleans out. But in the meantime, these people in the middle of the mountains are suffering. So what we're going to try to do, because I don't think this is going to fix itself anytime soon, is we're going to try to pull up on the GPS. We've got no cell phone signal, but GPS seems to be working good. We're going to figure out another route and see if we can't get around to these people to where we can drop off some of this food, even in a giant thunderstorm. We've got to try to make a difference.
Water, that's just terrible.
As you can see, the Army's back in place with some of their heavy equipment. I personally don't think there's anything they can do for that road until the water cleans up, and you know, we'll just kind of go from there. We're gonna try to reroute and find another way around this. Bravo 2, are you still good with us pushing on forward? I'll copy over. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, over.
We're gonna back out and hang out for you guys for the time.
Yeah,
Copy that.
I would definitely get out of here.
And to figure out the GPS now, we'd have to go way down and around to link back up. We have to run through that valley.
Roger, we're gonna go just a little farther and see what it looks like, and then we'll turn around, over. Yeah, this is dangerous.
This is unbelievable.
Oh, look at this hill. I swear to God, that's about to go. See.
Oh shit, yeah. Well, it looks like it already crossed the road. No?
Holy shit. That don't look too promising, man.
Yeah. As you can see, this is the kind of stuff that makes this a major disaster area. These are huge slides, and the Army, they sometimes get their vehicles up here to clear them out, but these are non-priorities in comparison to the major highways. This stuff could go at any time. Oh, you speak English, good. So, do you mind if I video you?
Yeah, sure, no
Okay.
problem. For how long have you been giving away food?
Well, I mean, we just got here a few days ago, and we're trying to get deeper into the mountains, and the road was washed out on, what is it, Highway 10, and so
Yeah, the Highway 10.
we dropped off water filters up there yesterday, so we've got about 1,000 pounds of food between two vehicles, so we're trying to find people in the most need. So, I mean, do you know anybody along this route that
Okay.
really needs food?
Have you been in Lares? Lares?
What, no, we haven't been there yet.
Okay, Lares is, there's a lot of people without food. They're trying to go by foot
Uh-huh.
to get food. Okay, it's
Right.
very hard to get there, and it's very hard for them to get down here when there is a lot of water and
Is
food.
that along this road?
Yeah, right. It's a long way, like 40 minutes,
40 minutes?
and maybe like this weather 1 hour,
Okay. How much has the road been washing out?
like 2 hours. And since Maria passed, since a week ago.
Right. Has the Army been, or anybody been coming up here to clean the road out?
Yes, not army, but there have been a lot of people coming here by trucks and a big machine. ¿Cómo se dice eso? Pero
Challenge.
no. Lo que recogen tierra, los diggers,
Loaden, todo eso.
loaders. Well, anyway, the army hasn't come here yet.
Okay. Yeah, y'all are matching. All right. Are we good? Are we bringing any more up?
We just got the rest of it.
Okay.
Good. They don't know if there's any more up there. They said the roads keep washing off. too bad. So
Okay.
I advise you to wait a little longer until it's safe.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really hard to get up there.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We've got another group behind us that doesn't have an off-road vehicle that has more food. Okay, so we just talked to that family, and we're on a really remote mountain road, and the two people that we've talked to so far basically have very little food, water. They've got large families that are staying in, you know, single homes all together. The road is extraordinarily dangerous right now. There could be a washout at any point, and there's no telling when, you know, heavy equipment would be able to come up here and clear the road. So we're going to pull back at least until this storm blows past, make sure the roads are good. We're going to head back in and acquire a whole bunch of Sawyer water bucket filters, and then we're going to come back up here with food and water so that these people will have the resources they need to get through this, because, you know, the things that happen after the storm can be as bad as the things that happen during the storm. You know, the long-term effects of these disasters is that, you know, resources are depleted. They're not so bad in the city, but out here in the mountain areas, there is no FEMA. There's hardly any military. He's seen no military since he's been here. And it's mainly just locals that are banding together to, you know, kind of clear the roads and do things along those lines. So anyways, we're going to head back into base and then get our supplies and then head back up here. Okay, we got some food for you. Go grab him a box of food, Junior.
Where you come from?
I'm from Missouri.
From Missouri?
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to deliver food and water filters and all that kind of stuff. Trying to document what's going on up here because nobody's talking about, you know, how big of a disaster this is and how nobody's getting any supplies. The big cities seem to be fine, but have you seen any kind of government up here? Any kind of assistance at all?
Nadie, ni el alcalde. Pasa por ahí a llevar agua y no se para, aunque haremos. Yo, gracias a Dios, pues no necesito, ¿verdad?, de que se paren todos los de aquí, pero por lo menos por aquí hay más de 100 familias y no las han visitado ninguna.
Nosotros
Hasta
venimos
sin
ayer,
techo y sin nada.
dimos la vuelta casi toda la isla ayer. Hoy nos mandaron casi 1000 libras de comida.
Who's been clearing the roads?
From here, us.
So, really? Okay.
Vaya por ahí para que usted vea cómo está.
Are you good on?
Like I said, I live by myself. I live right that little road there. My house is all like
Really?
Nadie.
Do you have any water at all?
Ya le digo, nadie.
Do you have water?
Yeah, we got water.
Okay. Okay, so we just talked to another family, and yet another person has told me that there's been zero government aid, that they have no food, very little water. Now, there's obviously a lot of water around here with all the rainfall, but these people don't understand basic survival skills. And so what we are going to do is try to locate this church that we've been told about and see if we can't get some more information, and we're going to drop off some more food to them and then try to head back into town and potentially get some water filters to these people. So anyways, no government up here, no help, nothing at all. So what's going on here?
Washout. It's taken out this lady's, part of this lady's home. It washed out all of this air and took all of this out. The water's coming down that this incline here, this little hill, and going straight into her home. And you can see over there, it's also washed out.
Al otro lado todo esto es así.
Puede dar por ahí para abajo para llenar. Okay, we got time.
So we just drove past an intersection where there was a lot of police and rescue type people set up, and where we were parked and where they were parked, not even 5 minutes after we drove by, there was a giant sinkhole that took the whole road away, and we're essentially having to reroute and try to find a new location. Yep. So we've come into this town down from the mountainside, and the roads are washing out so quickly that we're almost getting stuck here in town. And we've had Aguadilla? Ajulia. And we've only been here for maybe 30 minutes, and we've seen 3 roads wash out already. It's happening that quickly. There's a possibility we might get stuck until they can essentially fix some of these roads. We're at just under 3/4 of a tank over. Okay, so the town that we came into, in the short amount of time that we were there, the 2 major roads have already washed out. We were actually parked near one of the sinkholes that went, and we're having to find a mountain road route to try to get back to Highway 10, and it's taken us through some really bad spots. It's amazing how many roads are washed out here or are on the verge of washing out. I mean, we've been on this road for all of 10 minutes, and we've come across at least 4 or 5 sections that are half gone or about to go. So hopefully we can connect over to Highway 10 and get back out to the main road before we run out of gas. We've got a massive road washout up here. This is super dangerous.
We gotta get to 110 or 111. Yeah. All right. He's saying we can get up here. Okay. When we get to the church, there's gonna be a church. We're gonna have to curve to the right. It's gonna be an ugly curve. Okay. Right, one vehicle at a time. One vehicle at a time. Yeah. But it's gonna be like a 10-minute down thing. Okay. You know. It's passable in yours. Okay. We got that Mitsubishi too. So.
That'll wash away real quick. This is already washing away.
Hank with Fire Rescue in Florida. We came out here yesterday to assess the area out here, and came across a house that had a washout and some people that were trapped with no way in or out. The family hadn't seen any help or aid since the last of the storm, so we came back today with some equipment, thinking we might have to go down by road to access them. Found we were able to walk them out by foot, do a little along the edge. Just had to be careful with the cutouts of the road because it's way undercut down there and no access other than a small 3-foot wide footpath.
All right, real quick, my name is Rick Cardona. I'm a prior service 3rd Ranger Bat. We left some food to some individuals in the area. Left them some hygiene kits to share amongst all of them. I instructed one of the individuals on how to use the heater for the MREs, and he squared away with that. He was going to take care of everybody else. In a nutshell, the family down at the bottom of the hill, he was just talking about, they're going to be vacating because the living standards down there are not good. And we instructed them on how to get with FEMA for some added help. Hopefully get some other shelter provided them. Thank you. Diabetes. ¿Cuándo pasó eso?
Eso fue el lunes.
El lunes? Monday. So it's been probably a week now. 7 days. An aspirate that or? Todo eso afectando ahí. Right now we got one of the paramedics, a couple of them tending to the wound. It's happened, I think it was this past Monday, so he's been with this wound for 7 days now. We're gonna leave him what we got. He's taking his medication and instructing him to keep it clean, keep the bandage wrapped, change it periodically, and hopefully that wound will go away.
Dos pulgas desde el fondo, ve ahí, ¿ok? Tienes una... Mira, ponla aquí.
Esta comida es la comida que le dan a los soldados.
Para limpiarlo.
Le voy a enseñar una cosita.
Sí.
La gloria, Padre, y dale sabiduría, ayúdalos, Dios mío, fuerza. Señor, que ningún mal les pase a ellos ni su familia. Quizás algunos tienen familia, Señor, que han dejado para venir acá. Pero yo te pido que el poder tuyo, Señor, sea con ellos, Padre. Te creemos, Señor, en el nombre de Jesús, mi Dios, para tu gloria. Amén, gracias. Gracias.
So we're wrapping up day 3. Turned out to be a really great way to end the day. We started off thinking we were going to have to do a rope rescue with our search and rescue team guys. That ended up not happening. We went ahead and left those people some food, hygiene products, and a water filter. And then we went around the local neighborhood, and that was a very decimated area. And anytime it rains here, things get instantly bad. The roads wash out again. All the trees on these steep hills have blown over, and there's really no root systems to keep them in place. So every time you get one of these torrential rains, it'll block off the road. And the last place that we stopped was a church, and these people were praying, about help and hope and food and all these different things. And then here we come and show up with boxes and boxes of MREs and hygiene products and everything else. So I'm really satisfied with our progress today. We are currently out of food. We're waiting on another shipment. So hopefully tomorrow our objective is going to be to try to obtain some insulin. Insulin is a huge problem here. There's so many diabetics, it blows my mind. It must be something to do with the diet here, but we are going to try to acquire some insulin tomorrow and then maybe come back up and hit this area again.